ringside. Forget what you've heard. Forget the rumors. The gossip.
The best fighter in the world.
There's still only one undefeated.
I'm tired of getting splinters up my butt.
Undisputed.
They've never experienced anything like this, even if they're victorious.
Heavyweight champion of the world. See Mike Tyson's return to the ring, February 25th, live only on HBO.
In the city which has been the site of so many big boxing events over the past decade, we are live at the Las Vegas Hilton in Las Vegas, Nevada, where tonight, undisputed heavyweight champion Mike Tyson will defend his title against the WBC and WBA #1 contender, Frank Bruno. It's scheduled for 12 rounds. The long wait is over. After 8 months, Mike Tyson climbs back into the very ring where he won the heavyweight title over 2 years ago. And this fight takes place on the anniversary of a very propitious date in boxing history. 25 years ago tonight, Cassius Marcellus Clay, soon to become Muhammad Ali, knocked out and upset the knockout artist Sonny Liston to become heavyweight champion and introduce the modern era of boxing, some would say the modern era of sports in America. This is an excited crowd, some of it having flown here from England to root for Frank Bruno, most of these people having waited a long time for the reemergence in the ring of the heavyweight champion of the world, Mike Tyson. Hello again, I'm Jim Lafley, and all of us welcome you to this momentous occasion. We have waited, as has the boxing public, through 8 months of delays, sometimes with frustration, sometimes with mounting anger, as this fight was postponed no fewer than 5 different times. Very shortly, it will finally take place. I'm working, as always, with the noted boxing journalist Larry Merchant. And Larry, when last we saw Tyson fight, on June 27 of last year, when he knocked out Michael Spinks, this bout was scheduled to be held in London because there was some concern as to how difficult it might be to sell tickets here in the United States. Now it is a widely anticipated occasion. Why?
Well, Jim, you can put the blame on those old box office standbys: sex, money, and power. Mike Tyson married a woman who thought their personal lives should be a photo opportunity. He added his own 22-year-old's craziness, and they lived unhappily ever after, in public. So public it was bizarre. Entertaining, but bizarre. And now everyone wants a ringside seat at Mike Tyson's circus. They want to see this man-child who lives recklessly, breaks all the rules, and still comes out punching.
And even in the absence, Larry, of Robin Givens, there is still sex, money, and power. Every day with Mike Tyson is a publicity event. Yesterday, at the weigh-in, Frank Bruno observed the modern tradition of weigh-in as competitive psychodrama. He stepped up to Mike Tyson and tried to engage him in a staring match, and Tyson, showing that he could bottom anything Bruno wanted to try, engaged in a little bit of street machismo, pulling down his knickers slightly to try to over-intimidate Bruno. Then, later in the day, Bruno came to this very ring in the company of his hypnotist, no doubt trying for some positive imagery in this ring. He left, crossed himself, went back to the room with his hypnotist, and prepared himself a little more psychologically and mentally for this fight. Mike Tyson, incidentally, also has a hypnotist. Ray Leonard has been known to hypnotize opponents in the ring. And Ray, as Muhammad Ali was 25 years ago, Frank Bruno is an overwhelming underdog. Similar odds tonight. Does he have any chance to win?
Well, personally, I'm not an advocate of having a hypnotist in my training regimen. I mean, to each his own. As a matter of fact, that's Frank Bruno's prerogative, and Mike Tyson uses one also. The general consensus claim that Bruno doesn't have a prayer, so that's when the hypnotist comes into play, because it gives you confidence, it makes you more optimistic. But one thing about it, a hypnotist can't help you fight.
Mike Tyson does know how to fight. Frank Bruno hopes he knows how. And many of you may be watching again, as you did 8 months ago when Tyson last fought, but many of you may be watching for the first time a heavyweight championship fight because so much has happened. That was then. This is now. In his brief boxing career, the only constant for Mike Tyson has been change. He has lived in a state of perpetual motion as turbulent business and personal affairs have revolved around him. All of us have witnessed the events. Who among us can measure the change? At the beginning, the roles were clearly defined. Mike did the fighting. Bill Caton and Jim Jacobs did the managing. There was never a question of who was boss.
We hear now that you're going to fight Larry Holmes next. Why Larry Holmes?
Well, I don't have any say-so in the matter. I'll just a fighter, and I'll defend my title against any man in the world. If I was you, I'd talk to Jim Jacobs about that.
I'm the boss, by no means. And I don't say that to be egotistical by the furthest imagination. I just say that because I generate the income. No one gets paid for me. I generate all the income. I take all the risk.
Bill Caton had supported Mike Tyson for 8 years. His problems began in March 1988, when his partner, Jim Jacobs, Tyson's protector and best friend, passed away. Caton's relationship with the champion had never been as close, so questions arose about his future role as manager.
Even if I didn't like anyone in the organization, we had to continue to stick together. Because we both help each other. They can't find a better fighter. I can't find a better management. So we all need each other.
I would never want Bill Caton to be my manager again. He doesn't respect me. He doesn't respect what I stand for. And he believes that he thinks he's Mike Tyson. You know, I mean, lots of times I figure, well, why don't Bill Caton fight if he figures that he's the commodity? Why don't he fight?
Like Beauty and the Beast, Robin Givens and Mike Tyson were the hottest, most intriguing newlyweds of 1988. But the headlines were not always flattering, and the couple was together just 8 months.
As far as like her killing me, divorcing me, you know, I make that decision, right? You know, divorcing me. Someone who I dearly loved and made a big mistake. And I hope when all this is over that we both continue to be friends and continue to be successful and happy.
The P.T. Barnum of boxing, promoter Don King has usually found a way to attract the biggest names in the sport. King is a man whose gregarious style will never find him short of words, but whose character will always be the source of controversy.
And when you mention Don King's name, there's a dark shadow and cloud comes over everything. And you think about, oh, Don King, you know what I mean, they have the villain. And this is a statement that I always made of myself. If you have a snake in a room where the lights and everything's on, you could be in a room, you could do business, you could do anything in the room, as long as your eyes on the snake and you see where he's going. But once you cut the light off, then you have the reason to panic because you don't know where he's at and he could attack at any moment.
But while others were pulling and tugging at the champ, Don King came to Tyson's rescue, guiding him through his most chaotic episode.
Don King had helped me through a great deal of pressure when I was going through distress. Bill Caton didn't care to put 2 cents in. No one else cared to help. So no one can tell me anything bad about Don King. If I say Don King's a no-good, lousy thief, then everybody can believe me he's a no-good right there. But I'm saying Don King has done nothing but good to me.
A disciple of the late Customato, Kevin Rooney trained Mike Tyson from 1982 to 1988. But after Tyson became champion, rumors spread that Rooney would be replaced.
You see, the handwriting's on the wall. If something is to go wrong, it's all going to come on Kevin Rooney. But that's the business. So, you know, it's no big deal. I'm not going to lose any more hair over it.
This past December, Kevin Rooney was fired. Today, it's a new team with more members than before, some of them getting their first taste as boxing professionals. And some think Rooney's association with Tyson may not yet have come to an end.
I won't say history. You know, I mean, Kevin has a lot of things, you know, I mean, he has to talk to me about, and eventually we will talk.
In the past few years, we have all been Tysonized by the evolution of one of the most quicksilver phenomena in sport. The moments and events he has experienced in such a brief period of time add up to more than most of us could envision in a lifetime. Imagine what it's been like to be Mike Tyson.
People wouldn't want to be in my shoes. They really think so because they say, wow, I can make money, I can get rich. But if they had to go through some of the things I had to go through, I think they would cry. Sometimes it's so depressing. You got to go through. Like, being Mike Tyson is very exciting. There's never been like a dull moment in my life, even though I sometimes say, "Wow," I don't think about it, and sometimes I call myself, "I don't believe that happened." It's just never dull. It's very, charismatic all the time, and living that life 24 hours a day. That's a head trip. It's like, whoa.
It's been said that to live is to change, and to be perfect is to have changed often. It's still too early to tell whether the changes in Mike Tyson's life will ultimately be seen to have been for the better or for the worse. And we bring you back live now to the Hilton in Las Vegas, where coming up, World Championship Boxing on HBO Sports. Undisputed heavyweight champion Mike Tyson defending the title against #1 contender Frank Bruno of England in a fight scheduled for 12 rounds. One update. Several days have passed since our narration of the Mike Tyson then and now piece. During that period of time, Kevin Rooney filed a breach of contract suit against Mike Tyson. Tyson responded by saying that there was now no chance that Rooney would ever again return as his trainer. Kevin Rooney joins us now live via satellite from Schenectady, New York, to talk to our Larry Merchant. Larry.
Kevin, thank you for joining us. Kevin, what is your response to Mike's statement that it's all over between you now because of the lawsuit? Were you precipitous in filing that lawsuit?
I filed the lawsuit because I was left in the dark. No one spoke to me. I have a contract.
It almost sounds like there's an alienation of affection between you, and that's what bothers you.
Well, definitely. He's like a brother to me. He's my younger brother. Jay was like a brother to me. They're both out there. Jay goes out there, says he's doing it for cause. I'm doing it for cause. These guys throw the model's name around, and they don't live up to what Cuss really meant.
Jay Bright, of course, is the young man who's going to be in the corner tonight. Before we get to him, you made almost $2 million off the Tyson Spinks fight. By far the largest amount of money a trainer has ever made. Do you have any regrets about standing up so firmly for Bill Cayton in his dispute with Tyson, which led to your separation?
It's not a question that I stood up for Bill Cayton. I stood up for what was right, for what Cuss had started. No one showed me that Bill Cayton did anything wrong. He's not the most personal guy in the world. He's a very good businessman. And I felt that he could be trusted. I wasn't sticking up for Bill Cayton. I was sticking up for Mike Tyson all the time, all the shows that went on, talking in Mike's favor, talking against the women, talking if Mike was going to get back with the women, that's okay. That's what got me in trouble. That and the fact that I said, stay with Bill Cayton. You have 3 years to go on a contract. Do the right thing. Be a man and just do the contract. You don't got to like the guy. Call all the shots. Speak to Cayton. What you're doing with King, you could be doing with Cayton. You can tell Cayton what you want done.
Kevin, can Jay Bright handle the corner if a crisis emerges tonight?
Well, that remains to be seen, but I think he'll be able to handle it. Whether or not he has a crisis situation or not, I don't think so. I think that Mike is not going to forget everything that Cuss taught him and what I've been helping to keep teaching. Jay's been around Cuss, and he's been around me. He's been in my gym. He was helping me in my gym. So I don't think Jay's an actor, and I think Jay can put on his acting hat and handle it, but I don't think there'll be a tough crisis. I hope not. I'm rooting for Mike Tyson. I'd be shocked if Bruno beat Mike. I won't be shocked if the fight is more difficult than people think it's going to be.
Thank you so much, Kevin Rooney. Heavyweight champion could put an amateur in his corner, marry badly, go into business with Don King, and still wind up rich. What a country. But in all this country, it seems the only safe place for Mike Tyson is in the ring right behind me. There are no banana peels there, no problems. And that's the problem for the challenger, Mr. Bruno. The problem is one of logic, brutal logic. If that's a haven for Mike Tyson, what can it be for his opponent? To endure that logic, Bruno will be paid $3.5 million and they'll hear the cheers of some 2,000 countrymen who have come here. They adore him. And if he can extend this fight, they'll no doubt end up knighting him, and he'll be called Sir Frank Bruno.
The appalling behavior of English soccer fans in the past 3 years badly tarnished the image of British sport. These atrocities reflect societal problems above and beyond the fanatics' desperate cravings for a winner. But there's no doubt that a champion in anything would be a step toward restoring the dignity of a once proud nation. Standing tall as a saguaro cactus in the desert of Arizona where he trained for tonight's fight is England's Frank Bruno. In his own charming way, Bruno expresses the significance of representing his country for the most coveted individual crown in sport.
It's a big occasion, especially for England. It's a big occasion, especially for me. It's a big occasion, but I can't really put that sort of like big occasion on my back because I won't get out of my bed in the morning. But it's nice, but just put it at the back of your mind.
It's been 2 decades since Great Britain could claim proprietary interest in a fight of this magnitude. Overmatched Henry Cooper once dropped the great Cassius Clay to the canvas, but in 2 valiant tries he fell short of vanquishing the legend. To this day, Cooper's most ardent fans are heartbroken. British athletes in all sports perform under the weight of unbearable expectations. Most, like Joe Dury, struggle bravely, but fail. A few, like Virginia Wade, ultimately find championship medal. Frank Bruno hasn't had to win a championship to be loved and respected in England. The often fickle Fleet Street press fawns over a romantic relationship that, without marriage, has produced 2 lovely children. At first expressing fear for Frank's life against Mike Tyson, the tabloids have relented, creating a national fervor.
Frank Bruno is the most commercially viable sportsman in Britain today. He is the most popular, the most easily recognized, and he is in great demand for endorsements and for television commercials and various other advertising outlets.
How to get on the right side of Frank Bruno. Only one source can give all Frank's favourite foods the necessary punch. So in a couple of shakes, he's completely HP.
I've had good advice, and I've tried to stick to that advice. You know what I mean? And I'm just trying to do something out of my life than rather be a rebel, you know? And you get people knocking you and stabbing you and saying, no, he ain't one of us. He's trying to do this. He's trying to be a snob this. He's trying to be that. But I'm just a lit survivor, like everybody out there listening or watching, just a survivor that's trying to do well out of life.
Indeed, Bruno has survived and prevailed. The hard-punching Brit dispensed with 21 of his first 21 opponents by knockout. But in the first of his 2 losses, Bruno's stamina came into question along with his chin. His journeyman Bone Crusher Smith, behind on points, won a 10th round knockout. In Bruno's first title shot, veteran Tim Witherspoon humiliated the hometown hero in the 11th round, again after Bruno had led most of the fight. He bounced back with 3 victories before a ludicrous fight against a pathetic Joe Bugner. Now Bruno hasn't fought in 16 months. Manager Terry Lawless, architect of Bruno's success, has gambled toward his fighter's ultimate payday.
Well, the public wouldn't accept it, you see, unless he fought one of the top 3-4 heavyweights in the world. You know, we'd get destroyed for taking the fight. They don't understand that it's a warm-up job. You know, it would have to be a rated fighter, and you obviously couldn't take a chance. At this stage, the promotion wouldn't allow you to take it, and common sense wouldn't let you take it.
With the body of a Greek god, the chin of a poet laureate, and still untested skills in the boxing universe, Bruno forges on, unflappable.
I feel very confident. I've got the power, the timing. The time is right to beat him. It's peak time.
Though he may never reach the status of world champion, Frank Bruno has won the hearts of his countrymen. It's a plateau most fighters strive for their entire lives.
It's just possible, you see, that we do still prefer a good loser to a flashy winner. I know it's silly, but that's all part of the national psyche. And they do like people to be a little humble and not brag too much about their prowess. That is part of British upbringing, although it is changing. It certainly is changing.
And on this night of his life, at the age of 28, not having fought, as you see, in 488 days, Frank Bruno exits his dressing room and makes his way toward the ring. As he appears before this crowd, you will hear the cheers of more than 2,000 Englishmen who purchased tickets under the auspices of English promoter Jarvis Astaire, the man who had the original deal to host this fight in Wembley Stadium, and who have flown here to root for their man. Some think for only a brief period of time.
I can hardly think of an American athlete who would get that kind of loyal following. But one of the interesting things about that loyal following is that many of them are betting against Tyson, and some of the most, against Bruno, and some of the most curious betting I've ever seen. There's virtually no betting on who will win the fight. It's all on when the fight will end. And it's even money to end by the third round. And many Britishers are betting against him.
And this despite the fact that on the 2 occasions when he has been knocked out, it was in the 10th round against Bone Crusher Smith and the 11th round against Tim Witherspoon.
Of course, everybody remembers the last fight, which was 91 seconds.
Frank Bruno enters the ring. We are told that he did not warm up a great deal in his dressing room, but he appears to have broken a sweat. You see the record, 32 wins, the 2 losses to Smith and Witherspoon, 31 knockouts for Bruno, most of them against palpably lesser opponents. And as we await the entrance of Mike Tyson, we ready you now for Ray Leonard's tip of the night. Ray?
Well, Jim, they asked, does Frank Bruno have a chance? And my answer, Jim, is yes. A puncher's chance, that is, because Frank Bruno's, his bread and butter is this powerful and devastating right hand. But you know, with power, that's one thing, but you also need other attributes. A good chin will definitely help him. Against some big punchers, Bruno's had some big difficulties. When we talk about Mike Tyson, Tyson likes to end the fight early, traditionally. But I think some early body shots will make this fight a whole lot easier for him as opposed to just going to the head. In order for him to get inside, the stiff and short jabs will get Tyson inside to do damage to the body. This should be an interesting and pretty much short fight.
And there comes the Gladiator. 242 days, 242 monumentally eventful days have passed in his life since the 91-second destruction of Michael Spinks. And Tyson dispenses with the towel with the hole in the middle of it and comes toward the ring in his typical fashion, already in a full frothing sweat and ready to go.
According to some financial records that were released in some court actions, he spent almost $200,000 on clothes last year, but obviously none of them on sweat socks or robes.
Mike Tyson has fought 35 times. 4 different opponents have taken him the distance. There are very few here tonight who suspect that Frank Bruno will have a chance to become the 5th, much less to win the bout. And we look at the tail of the tape, and you will see that Frank Bruno has at least a 3.5-inch height advantage. Some would say it is greater than that. A 10-pound weight advantage, 11 inches in reach, and there are very few who believe that any of those numbers will be a factor in what happens here in the ring.
Bruno looks like a #1 pick, but Tyson plays like an all-star.
And as you pointed out once, Larry, Bruno has the best body in the heavyweight division since Ken Norton.
Well, here's our punch stat numbers. Punch stat, which purports to give a kind of statistical profile of how busy the fighters are. Unfortunately, Mike Tyson's busyness is not the issue in his fights. Not how many punches he throws, but the quality of the punches. Bruno may throw more, but Tyson throws them harder. And those numbers are also reflected in the number of jabs.
The WBC rules in effect for tonight's bout: 10-point must system scoring, 3 judges scoring the bout, no standing 8 count. A fighter can be saved by the bell only in the last round. Most significantly, there is no 3 knockdown rule in effect. A fighter could be knocked down 3 times in a round and still continue in the bout at the discretion of the referee. And right now, let's go up to ring announcer Chuck Hull with the pre-fight introductions.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hilton Center of the Las Vegas Hilton Hotel, where tonight the Hilton Corporation presents an evening of World Championship Boxing. This bout is sanctioned by the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF, and by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Elias Ghanem, chairman. The commissioners at ringside this evening are Dr. James Nave, Dwayne Ford, Freddie Little, and Jay Nady. The executive director is Chuck Minker. This fight sanctioned by the WBC, Jose Suleiman, president, the supervisor, James Nave. By the International Boxing Federation, Bobby Lee, president, Al Goodman, supervisor, and by the WBA, President Gilberto Mendoza, and the supervisors are Dr. James Nave and Santiago Chicas. The officials assigned by the governing bodies for the next bout of the evening. The judges are Jerry Roth of Las Vegas, Omar Mintun of Mexico, Rodolfo Maldonado of Panama. The timekeeper is Mike Lachella. Counting at the knockdowns, Mike Morabito. The attending physicians at ringside, Doctors Flip Omansky, Donald Romeo, and James Game. And your referee is Richard Steele. This is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Introducing, in the blue corner, fighting out of London, England, weighing in at 228 pounds, or 16 stone 4 pounds, with a professional record of 32 wins, 2 defeats, with 31 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, he is rated number world in the world by the WBC. He is the challenger, Frank Bruno. And in the red corner, from Catskill, New York, weighing 15 stone 8 pounds, or 218 pounds, he is undefeated in his professional career, 35 wins, 31 KOs. He is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Iron Mike Tyson.
Okay, listen. I gave both fighters their instructions in the dressing room. I'm cautioning again. Obey my commands at all times. Is there any questions? Shake hands. Good luck.
There's the stare. We're just about set to go. The undisputed heavyweight championship of the world on the line. Mike is giving away 3.5 inches in height. He's giving away 10 pounds in weight. He's 5 years younger, and he's giving up 11 inches in reach. Some say he has the same disadvantage as a lion going against a zebra. And I'd have to agree. Let's see how quick he starts. Bruno tries to keep him off. Bruno showing that he's not afraid, hanging on. Bruno's already tagged with a right hand. And there goes Bruno for the first time in the fight. The first right hand that caught him, he was down. He'll have to take the standing 8 count.
Hey, you all right?
Bruno's clear, but he knows the power of Mike Tyson. Tyson, if ever there was a guy fighting like a raging bull, it's Mike Tyson. Bruno has all the pride of England standing for him. He get tagged again by a right hand. He's trying to hang on to Mike and hit. Mike is just looking for an opportunity to cut loose. And Richard Steele warns Frank Bruno about hanging on and hitting Mike Tyson. Tyson pummels him with the right hand. Mike trying to set him up with the left hand. Bruno looks a little wobbly already. Right hand misses Frank Bruno. Bruno has come to try and mix it up. He's hanging on to the head of Tyson. Tyson not affected by any of these blows at all. Tyson just looking to set his man up. He's back on the assault. He tries to reach him inside with a short, crisp shot. Bruno ties him up inside. Again, Richard Steele warns Frank Bruno about hanging on and hitting. Bruno's already been down in round number 1. Tyson hit with a light left hand. Doesn't do anything to him. Tyson back up bouncing. Well, all the questions about distractions have been answered as Tyson attacks. Bruno doing everything he can to try to attack this guy. Don't forget, he's from a very rough area in London. And to be honest with you, a lot of people are thrilled to see this guy making some sort of fight of it. Blood is really coming from the nose of Frank Bruno. And you can see that there's been a point taken away. I don't think points will mean anything by the time this fight's over. But Frank Bruno is trying to make a fight of it. He's hanging on, but Tyson is certainly getting the best of it. He's bleeding from the nose. He was down in the very early seconds as Tyson nails him with the uppercut. Now Frank comes very slowly across the ring. He knows he's in with a bull. Tyson gets nailed with a left hook. Tyson looks wobbly as he attacks Bruno. Bruno continues to throw. Tyson was caught and wobbled. Tyson looks clear, but he was caught by a shot by Frank Bruno. Tyson trying to fight back, and Bruno did catch him with a shot. That's the first time I've seen anything like Tyson staggered. Tyson was definitely set back in his tracks there. Inside of 20 seconds to go in the round. Bruno has got him tied up. Mike Tyson doesn't seem to have that fiery look in his eyes right now as he lunges for the challenger. Inside of 10 seconds to go, as you see.
Let's go, Frank.
A bell ends round number 1, and the crowd loves it. So Bruno went down, but not hurt, and Bruno tagged Tyson and did hurt him. Watch this now, and let's see just how it happened. There was a short right hand that caught Bruno. He was wobbled, and then another right hand kind of up over the shoulder caught him off balance, and you notice Tyson never stopped swinging. There's the short right that has him in trouble. Right now, he's wobbled on his legs. And then it's up in the top of the back of the head. But he's not hurt here at all. And then, of course, Richard Steele moves in. And there's the right hand that caught Tyson and buckled his legs. And that's the first time we've seen him in an awkward position. Here's Tyson moving in. It'll be interesting to see if he's like a wild man in round 2. And it looks like he's ready to be a wild man in round 2. So Frank Bruno came to fight. Surprised Tyson by catching him in the first round. He's nailed again with that inside right hand. Bruno vulnerable to that right hand in close. Tyson continues to come in. Bruno continues to hang on when he does come in. We wanted to take time to welcome all our friends in Australia, New Zealand, and people watching all over the world, but the fight's been so fast and so exciting, it's hard to do that. But a special hello to Chris Myrams in Wellington, New Zealand, and all of the brothers and sisters, and especially David Fox, our producer, his sister, who's also watching in New Zealand. Welcome, New Zealand and Australia. People all over Africa, the Middle East, we're thrilled to have you on the Mike Tyson Network here. Bob Sheridan bringing this fight to you, and hope that you're enjoying the fast pace. Frank Bruno came to fight. He was down for just a second in the first round, and the chant from the better than 5,000 British subjects that are here cheering for Bruno to do something against Tyson. Bruno, of course, has a magnificent body. Tagged with a short, crisp right hand in the first round, which made us all think, well, that's what all was going to happen. But then Bruno suddenly caught Mike Tyson with a shot in the first round. Tyson looking for the shot to the body and then to deliver that right hand to the head. Right now, the superior height and the long reach of Frank Bruno seems to be working to his advantage, but Tyson doesn't get frustrated. He just looks to throw the shot. Bruno was able to block that shot that time. You see Frank continuing to hold with a left hand behind the head of Mike Tyson. Left hook to the body. Tyson attacks with a left of his own. He catches Bruno with a nice left uppercut. This infighting here, Bruno's a very strong guy himself. Don't forget, he has 30 knockouts and 32 wins himself, so he can punch. Tyson misses wild with the left uppercut.
Come on, work it out. Don't hold him, Frank.
So far, the big heavy blow, Bruno's been able to escape. The right hand catches Bruno. Left hook. Bruno looks ready to go. Now is when he's got to hang on. And he does. He has the ring sense and wherewithal to hang on. Tyson knows that he can catch up with Bruno right now. Bruno trying to keep him off. And the bell ends round number 2. And here we go with round 3. A lot of people didn't expect it to go this far. In fact, for the betting public, round 3 is an important round. The over and under is round 3 for this fight. So if the fight goes beyond round 3, there'll be a lot of happy people that pick 4 and above. Of course, this is the betting capital of the world, and people are interested in that around here. You people watching around the world, we've seen a better fight than we expected so far. You get the idea that Mike Tyson will catch up with Frank Bruno, and your heart's almost with Frank to hope he can make a good fight of it. Frank Bruno, the big, almost chisel-cut body in such magnificent shape. Big, vicious body shot, taken right underneath the heart of Frank Bruno. Tyson really punished his body with that shot. Didn't seem to bother Bruno, though. Bruno is going to stop pouring with that left hand and get a punch off. Mike catches him with a good left hook, and Bruno has the wherewithal to hang on to him. Both guys hanging on with the kind of the right arm and wailing away with the other hand. Tyson, lightning hands, looking for the opportunity to land that right hand on the chin of Frank Bruno.
Let him go, Mike. Let him go.
And again, you just have the feeling it's a matter of time. And it's not that Tyson's toying with him, it's that Tyson is looking for the opportunity. Don't forget, Bruno did catch Tyson in the first round with a pretty good shot.
Come on, Park, it out. Don't hold him, Frank.
Bruno has got to throw some heavier stuff, though. He's powering with the left hand. He's got to let the right hand fly. He's got to double with that jab. What he's satisfied to do is to kind of hang on to the head and kind of power at him with his right hand. He's got to try and get off with that right hand better. Tyson with a short assault. Nothing there. Tyson has a lot of movement where Frank Bruno is just kind of a stand-up guy, almost tailor-made for Tyson. That time he caught him with a body shot. The height advantage that Bruno has and the reach advantage, it really is an advantage to Frank Bruno. But again, you still get the idea that it's a question of time before Mike catches him. There's some real good shots there, not catching flush, but nonetheless scoring. Mike Tyson is in control of the fight, and Bruno, if he hopes to win, has got to let that right hand fly.
Don't hold him, Frank. Don't hold him.
Bruno's idea is to try and get this guy inside, and as soon as he comes in and hits him, hang on to him. There's a little bit more game than Bone Crusher Smith was in his fight.
Don't hold him, don't hold him.
Bruno at no stage inside is going to give Tyson both hands free. They continue to fight after the bell. Tyson really has a look of annoyance on his face, and he has no intentions of doing anything but trying to control this guy as best he can.
Got to work his gut more.
Vicious-looking guy. Look at him.
Don't walk straight in. That's what he's waiting for. Finish him off. Use right hand, left hook, right hand, left hook, right hand, left hook. All right. Come on. Gotta use a lot of sevens to get in there. Stay inside. All right? Stay inside. Be mean in the inside. Start digging them body shots.
That's Aaron Snowell working the corner of Mike Tyson. Don't forget, Tyson has a whole new corner. Aaron Snowell, Jay Bright, and Taylor Smith. Terry Lawless and George Francis, the keys. All right, here we go, round 4. Bob Sheridan here. It looks like Bruno could be hurt a bit.
Watch your head, Mike. Watch your head.
Tyson just really bores in like a madman almost. Frank has got to start throwing that right hand. Tyson is almost measuring him now.
Step back, step back, step back.
Again, this is round 4. It's scheduled for 12. A lot of people didn't think we'd get to the 4th round in this fight. If you've just joined us for one reason or another, Frank Bruno was down in the first round, but it wasn't a serious knockdown. He wasn't wobbled, really hurt at all. And then he later caught Mike Tyson, and for the first time in his career, I saw Tyson a little wobbly on his legs. But he recovered from that in fine shape. And then Richard Steele had to take a point away as well in the first round from Bruno for hanging on and holding.
Watch it, get out. You're holding. Let's work inside and get out. Break. Step back,
So it would have been a 10-8 round, would have to be scored 10-7. And that puts Tyson way out in front in the fight. Bruno was caught by a right hand and a left hook. Bruno comes back and catches Tyson. Right hand cut Bruno right in the forehead, followed up by the left hook.
Come back, don't hold his arm.
Bruno has got to throw that right hand more and try to catch Tyson with a left hook.
Come on, punch it out.
He seems to be satisfied to let Tyson bore in on him and just hold him. Vicious body shot.
Come on, keep punching inside of it.
It's those body shots that Tyson is able to score that has softened up so many of an opponent before. Bruno does not seem to be intimidated, and his fight plan is to try to frustrate Tyson as much as he can by hanging on to him, by tying him up when he comes inside. That light, ooh, another right hand gets through.
Come on, punch it, get out of there. Get your arms back, pull them back. Come on, Mike, pull your arms back and punch it, get out. Let's go, Frank. All right, break.
Richard Steele, the third man in the ring, doing an excellent job considering the style that Bruno is fighting here. Bruno again lets Tyson come in, and again he hangs on.
Step back. Keep it up.
Very tough fight to referee the way Bruno's fighting it. But Tyson doesn't get frustrated. He just goes about his business of trying to win each round.
Step back. Don't hold him, Mike. Let him go.
Bruno is such a much bigger figure than Mike Tyson, but Tyson is just so strong, and his hands are so quick. Uppercut comes that time. We're in the closing seconds now of round 4. The bell ends round number 4, and the crowd in England loves it.
A fucking good wallop on the left hook off the jab, okay? Took him by surprise. When it comes in with both and whack, you've got to whack it.
Come on, let's have it. Go.
That is Aaron Snowell, the new face, whom you saw whispering into Tyson's ear.
Let's see how far Tyson has come since that Bone Crusher Smith fight, which was a very unsatisfying fight for him and the crowd. Let's see if he knows how to chop the man down.
You know, Mike's getting a little over anxious, and he's coming in with his feet together and his chin exposed.
I think he's been over anxious virtually since the opening bell, Ray.
Well, too many times people say, well, this fight won't go 3 rounds or 2 rounds. And sometimes the fighter believes that. Frank Bruno doesn't believe it.
Solid right hand inside by Tyson. Again, Bruno ties him up.
I heard Bruno corner say, throw some uppercuts.
Don't hold him, Frank. Don't hold
Bruno
him.
trying that
Back,
left hook inside, but the starch has gone out of this. No longer does it hurt Mike the way it did in rounds 1 and 2.
All right, break. Step back. You're holding, Frank. Break. Step back. Last warning.
And you saw our pre-fight interview with Tyson's deposed trainer, Kevin Rooney. We should now report that Rooney has left that camera position and gone back to the Golden Gloves amateur boxing competition in Schenectady. He is not watching this fight.
And remember that he said he thought the fight would be tougher than other people did.
Look, I see so much body exposed of Bruno.
Get right.
It's like an open invitation.
Solid left hook inside. And an uppercut with the right. And Bruno is wobbled again. Bruno will try to hold on. Tyson tries to get punching room and hits Bruno with an elbow in the mouth. Uppercut, right hand. Bruno's in serious trouble. A left hook. And Richard Steele watching carefully. Only guts keeping Bruno up at this moment. There's blood trickling from his nose and his mouth. Tyson really doing damage with the uppercuts. Just missed with the right. trying to land the one haymaker.
Punching it out, punching it out.
Oh, it's just a matter of
This
time
is
here.
vicious punishment.
That's that shot. That's that Bolo shot.
And
Beautiful
Richard
shot.
Steele has seen enough. As Terry Lawless throws in the towel simultaneously.
That was that shot, Jim. That double shot with the same hand.
And what you saw there, as I said earlier in the round, is a mark of the progress of Mike Tyson from a good, raw, young heavyweight into a great heavyweight who knew how to go about his work.
Official time, 2:55 of round number 5.
Thank you.
In a professional execution, Mike Tyson makes relatively short work, not as short as some believed it would be, but relatively short work of a game challenger in Frank Bruno.
A game challenge by Frank Bruno. Bruno held his own. Forget about what the critics thought. Bruno was in there. He was able to hurt Mike Tyson, gain some respect, but Tyson, as usual, was able to come back strong and put Frank Bruno out of the fight game.
So victory number 1 for the new team Tyson. Victory number 1 for the corner group of Aaron Snowell and John Horn and Jay Bright.
Well, Mike Tyson just started his momentum, started building up his points and his punches, and he's starting to wear down Frank Bruno. I like the looping right hand. Some miss, but you know, Jim, the punch that really did the most damage was the uppercuts, little short uppercuts.
Here is the same action, and there you saw the left hook inside that started it, much as was the case in his destruction of Michael Spinks, followed by a right uppercut solidly to the face of Bruno, and after that, the challenger was just holding on. And there was a moment there where Tyson got inside and smashed an elbow into Bruno's mouth to make punching. There's the uppercut.
Those are the short uppercuts that do so much damage, and people just don't appreciate those little short shots. Now watch these shots here with the same hand. Again, that left hook has been doing a great deal of damage to Frank Bruno in the earlier rounds. A lot of them missed, but the punch that did get through, Jim, were able to slow down Frank Bruno. That shot there, the uppercut, beautiful combination. Now watch as he goes to the body and he doubles his shots up.
All right, here now the sequence which ended the bout as Richard Steele ultimately decided he had seen enough. And at this moment, Terry Lawless, the manager of Frank Bruno, was running along the ring apron with a towel in hand, asking Steele to stop it.
It's a double punch with the same hand, to the body, to the chin. Here it is, to the midsection, right up the middle. Beautiful shot. He's hurt a lot of guys. In fact, he knocked out Rebalta the same way. You see the leverage of Mike Tyson. There, to the body and straight up the middle. I'm going to use that shot one day.
Has any heavyweight ever thrown the uppercut with such devastating effect?
Not that way. And Jim is short and powerful and a great deal of leverage.
Certainly not in recent memory. Has anyone used that punch?
In the middle, right there, and straight up.
Right there.
Oh, beautiful shot.
He once offended some members of the boxing press when he said after knocking out Jesse Ferguson with a similar shot that his objective was to drive the nose bone up into the brain. It's just a mnemonic, a technique for knowing what to do with the uppercut. Now to Larry Merchant with the champion. Larry?
Mike, another one on your belt, another notch. Was this harder than you anticipated?
No, not at all, because I knew that he was going to come up. He was talking, and the way he was talking, I knew he was hyped. He was ready to go. And I knew I was the best fighter in the world. And I wasn't worried about
20 seconds into the fight, though, you've got him on the canvas. Do you think what's going on here, it's all over?
No, I knew he wasn't hurt. Thank you, friend. God bless you.
You're a good guy, Bruno.
I knew he wasn't hurt as bad as everybody thought him was, but I didn't hit him with a solid shot.
What did you hit him with?
I think it was the right hand, somewhat grazing.
Yeah, and then you hit him on top of the head and he went down. Were you then surprised that he came back and he seemed to hit you with a pretty good left in that round?
He got up. He meant business. I said, oh, man.
But did that left hand shake you momentarily that he hit you with in that round?
He was throwing a great deal of hard punches, but I refused to go down. They didn't even faze me.
After that round, it seemed that you had established that you were the guy, and now he was just there to hold on. Was that how it seemed to you in the ring?
Absolutely. But still, he was sneaking some very hard punches in between that.
So he was stronger than some people gave him credit for.
Absolutely. Well, you have to think, when fighters come to fight the heavyweight champ of the world, like Ali, they automatically become better fighters.
What happened in the 5th round that you saw? Was you knew that he was weakened enough after the 4th round that it was just a matter of time?
Well, absolutely, I knew I was going to get him.
All right. Memories of Bone Crusher Smith passed through my mind. A guy who hugged you for 12 rounds.
Well, no, I knew he wasn't about to hug him for 12 rounds because he was trying to impress his Englishmen out here. And I'm just convinced, you know what I mean? These fellas, I dared them challenge me with their somewhat primitive skills. They're just as good as dead.
So that, in effect, though, didn't this show how much you have improved since Bone Crusher Smith, that you could chop him down the way you did?
Well, eventually, we have 12 rounds. Hopefully, I wish there were 15 rounds, but the rules prevail for them to be 12, and we have to live by the rules. And I wasn't worried at all.
So many months you haven't been in the ring. How does it feel to have finally got in here and do what you say you do best?
It felt great. Being here and the people scream and yell, the people scream for him, it's motivating me more.
What can you tell me what? Can you tell me what plans you have now, Mike?
Well, at this particular time, right now, I'm just going to go home and watch a movie called Lean on Me.
Don King, can you tell us, do you have any fights planned and with whom?
I'm going to go with him to watch Lean on Me. And after we watch that, he's going to be talking about it at the post-fight press conference. We'll be talking about guys like Jose Luis Rebalta or Carl Williams, somebody, because he wanted to get back in the ring again in May.
So you're saying there's nothing actually planned now, but you are thinking about several different options.
New York!
We're planning several different options, but we will be fighting in May.
Thank you very much, Don. Thank you very much, Mike.
Ringside.